Assalamu alaikum student. In the previous slides we discussed about the forces, what is force and what is the function of the force arrows, and we discussed about the different type of the forces. Today we will discuss about the balanced and unbalanced forces and friction. First of all, we will discuss about the balanced forces. If the forces on an object are the same size but in opposite direction, then they will cancel out. The forces are balanced. If the forces are acting on an object are balanced, then its motion will not change. If it is not moving, it will stay still. If it is moving, it will keep moving at a steady speed. Now, second, unbalanced force. If the forces on an object are not equal and opposite, then they are unbalanced. If the forces are unbalanced, then the motion of the object will change. If it is not moving, it will start moving. If it is moving, it will speed up or slow down or change direction. A lot of forces. Sometimes more than one pair of forces is acting on an object. Look at the board. The weight and the upthrust are balanced. The board does not move up or down. The thrust of the engine is balanced by the air and water resistance. The board moves forward with a steady speed. If it is speeding up or slowing down, then the forces acting on it will be unbalanced. Resultant forces. The single force equivalent to two or more forces acting on an object. If the resultant force is zero, the forces are balanced. If the resultant force is not zero, the forces are unbalanced.
Take a look at what happens when forces are unbalanced. Welcome to Moo Math and Science and Balanced and Unbalanced Forces. Newton's first law of motion states that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. But how are balanced and unbalanced forces different? Balanced forces will cause no change in the speed of an object. Balanced forces acting on an object in opposite directions and in equal strength, as shown in the arrows below, do not cause a change in the speed of a moving object. Objects that are not moving will not start moving if acted on by balanced forces. Remember, forces have a magnitude and a direction. Unbalanced forces are not equal, and they cause the motion of an object to change. When two unbalanced forces are exerted in opposite directions, their combined force is equal to the difference between the two forces. The magnitude and direction of the net force affects the resulting motion. This combined force is exerted in the direction of the larger force. Let's take a look at some real-world examples. The forces acting on the red pull balls are balanced. The downward force of gravity is equal to the resistance force of the pull table. When the white ball strikes the red balls, the forces are now unbalanced and they move in the direction of the force. The forces are balanced on the weights. The downward force of gravity is equal to the resistance force of the yellow rack. The weights do not move. The weightlifter exerts an unbalanced force upward, and the weights move in that direction. The forces on the tennis balls are equal. They are not moving. When the tennis balls are struck by an unbalanced force, it causes them to move. The resistance force of the car is balanced with the downward force of gravity. The car jack exerts an unbalanced force on the car upward, and the car moves in that direction. The car is at rest, and all forces are balanced. When the car that is moving strikes the car at rest, then the forces now are unbalanced, and the car moves in the direction of this force. If you'd like to know more about unbalanced or imbalanced forces, this playlist will help. And as always, thanks for watching, and Moo Moo Math uploads a new math and science video every day. Please.
Now our next topic is friction. Friction is a force that slows down the moving object. When a child goes down a slide, there is a force of friction between the child and the slide. This is because of surfaces, even the surface that feel very smooth are uneven. Now we discuss about the reducing friction. People often try and reduce friction. For example, cyclists put oil on the axle of their bicycle to reduce friction. This is called lubrication. A layer of oil between the surfaces and make it easier for the surface to slide over each other. This reduces the force of friction. In next slides you will see the video about the friction.
What is friction? Friction is the reason we are not constantly slipping and sliding on floors, roads and everywhere. Friction is the force that is created when two surfaces move or try to move across each other. The amount of friction produced during this process depends on the texture of both the surfaces and the amount of contact force that is pushing the two surfaces together. The force acts in the opposite direction to the way an object wants to slide. When you want to stop your bicycle, you press the brake and your bicycle slows down because of the friction created between the brakes and the wheels. Different solid objects experience different amount of frictions. An eraser on a glass top table will experience more friction than a coin, which will experience more friction than an ice cube on the same table. Why do you slip and fall when the floor has just been mopped? This is because liquid creates a barrier between the ground and your shoes and makes the friction a lot less. It is because of less friction that you hear of many accidents during monsoons. Even though the friction of the brakes is still there, the brakes may be wet and the wheels are not in as much contact with the ground because of the water. Project. Slide a coin across a marble floor and then slide the same coin across a concrete pavement. What difference do you notice? Why does this happen?